all the time. Okay. All right. Okay. Hello, all of you wayward spirits. My name is Liz Ashley, and I am so obsessed with supernatural. I decided to do some research, Winchester style, on anything and everything mentioned in the show. And though the show has sadly ended, this podcast is going to keep the family together. So, what do you say? Do you want to join me on the hunt? Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Wayward Spirit Pod. And today we are keeping on the topic of aliens. We are going to watch the episode. It is season 6, episode 9. Clap your hands if you believe. Yes, this is an epic episode. I love this episode. It just has everything I love in it. I just love it so much. And I love talking about aliens. So if you haven't listened to episode 32 yet, then go back and listen to it because I talk with a spooky hour podcast about a really great alien abduction story. And I have some more alien abduction stories later on at the end. So make sure to stay and listen for those because they're real great. All right. I love talking about aliens. So, yes, I am very excited for this episode. I definitely believe in aliens 100%. They're real, they really are real. Let's watch the episode. I'm really excited because we have Soulless Sam here with us in this episode. And I don't think we've done an episode on Soulless Sam yet. And yeah, he's wild. All right. Elwood, Indiana. Some teens out there, having some fun out in the cornfields. Yup. And the girl in this, she's in this show on Netflix. It's called Travelers, I think. It's so good. Watch it if you haven't seen it. It's so good. She's in it. It's great. There's something out there. I don't know why they just don't leave. Like that's crazy. Like I don't really have any room to talk because like I've gone ghost hunting and I want to continue to go ghost hunting. So I don't really have a ton of room to talk. But but still, I think like if you think an alien is coming after you, or if you think someone is in the cornfield, why not just leave? Like you could leave and avoid the situation altogether, you know? Patrick! I'd leave. At that point, I would leave. Patrick! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Ah, he got abducted. He just vanished. Also, I love when they do this with the intro. Like, I love when they like make it like the theme. Like, I love when they change it towards the theme of the episode. It just makes me so happy. I don't know why, but I love it so much.
I'm here because I believe that Elwood, Indiana has become a center of extraterrestrial activity.
There was this light, and then Patrick just vanished. It's all happening.
I love how they do this, how it's like person to person to person. It reminds me of Mean Girls. If you've seen Mean Girls, it reminds me of when like they go to everybody and they're like, Regina George did this, so I did this, and they just go around to every person. Like that's what this reminds me of.
You know, I mean, these entities have come
I love her.
to help push humanity to the next stage.
People really believe
My
that
name is Ray
now.
Whitaker Jr., and
Of course, it's not UFO.
I love her. It's fairies.
What, flying saucers not insane enough for you?
Soulless Sam is just he's just like a rare form of he's just Sam in rare form. I I mean Soulless Sam is hilarious. Like I hate to say it, but he's hilarious. He's rude, but man is he funny. Man, is he funny. Empathy, man, empathy.
You know, is this about Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick's gone. Your son was the first to disappear. First to be taken.
First to be taken. Yes, he knows something.
Taken.
He knows something. He knows something.
Is that all right?
Creepy, 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 creepy. Yes, he is hiding something.
I think he's hiding something.
Yes.
Why don't you stay away?
Dean's at the crop circle. Oh no, 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 no. I love this. I love this part. I really do. I love when Dean gets abducted like I do. This part is great. Okay. It's so funny. I love this part so much. Oh my gosh. He looks so shocked. He's like, oh my gosh. Close encounter. Close encounter. Close encounter.
They're after me. Third kind already. You better run, man. I think the fourth kind is a butt thing.
Empathy, Sam. Empathy.
Sam.
Empathy. As he orders another drink, and Dean is running for his life. I love this episode so much. Oh no! Dean got abducted. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I love this part one because it's really funny. Two, because these are my people. So it's just like a group of people in these like RVs and buses that they've turned into like RVs, and they all have like Christmas lights everywhere and like aliens and stuff, and they're just like camped out. And I love this. These are my people. I am telling you. My new goal in life, my new dream in life is to get a van and turn it into a little mobile like home and just go wherever and just travel wherever. That's my new goal. So if you want to help me, join my Patreon. There's an option, only $1 a month, and you get an extra podcast, which is really cool. And it's about lore. And I'm hoping I'm selling it because I'm not really. It's about the lore that this is. I'm just bringing this up. This is unexpected. I did not like put this in the outline. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to help me out, join my Patreon. Anyway. I just love it. They have aliens everywhere. I just love these. I love these. I love them. I love them. They're my people. I love them so much. So they're real. UFOs.
Like I said before, son, the truth is out there.
The truth is out there, and UFOs are real. The American government actually, they admitted it last summer, yet nobody was talking about it. And we actually talk about this in the previous episode with the Spooky Hour podcast. So check that out because we talk about it and it's wild. So check that out. But yes, UFOs are real. They are confirmed. They're real. So the next logical step to come to is that aliens are real. Yes, I believe in aliens. Always have. All right.
This is it. My brother was abducted, so I'm pretty good on the whole proof part.
This is my other favorite part. Your brother was abducted? Yeah.
Oh my god. It's fine.
It's fine.
I've had time to adjust.
It happened a couple hours ago, but I've had time to adjust.
You've been hunting UFOs for over 3 decades, and you basically have no concrete data and zero workable leads. Have you considered the possibility that you suck at hunting UFOs?
Sam is a savage. He's savage. I just can't. I can't. It's like, Sam.
I'd like to help
Mm-hmm.
if I can.
Mm-hmm. Look at Sam. Sam already. Oh my gosh. I can't. I hate. Oh, I hate this. I don't like seeing Sam with other people. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. I love how Dean came back in like the same, in like the same, in like the same position they took him in. He had his gun out. He had the knife out. And just and I love that like that was what he did. Like because I mean who knows if that could hurt aliens or not. Like obviously not. And oh, I just think it's so funny. Oh, I just think it's so funny. And he looks so genuinely scared, which I understand. I used to be terrified of aliens. I couldn't, okay, one more thing. I couldn't even get through like there's a movie called The Fourth Kind. I couldn't get through that movie when I was younger because I was so scared of aliens. Like anything having to do with aliens terrified me. Like legit couldn't sleep, terrified me. Scary movies are my favorite type of movies, but anytime it came to aliens, I was like, nope, nope, never. And it's because of a story I told in the last episode. When I was younger, I was watching Unsolved Mysteries with my dad, and he was like, oh, you know, anyone around us could be an alien. And I'm just like, what? And yeah, and so and so ever since then I've been scared. Well, not anymore. I'm not scared of aliens anymore. I think they're real and I'm not scared. I don't think they're like gonna kill us. I just think that they're smarter. I don't know. Teen walks in on Sam and the alien girl.
Dean, what the hell?
I got abducted. This is what you do. This is what you do. Oh, I hate what I stopped on. It's of Sam and that girl. I hate seeing Sam with the girls. It just okay. Like okay, Ruby's okay because that's Genevieve. Like that's fine. Everybody else, sorry, I can't. I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. I'm just like, ugh.
I was abducted. And you were banging patchouli.
You were begging patchouli. Woo, okay, yeah. It's really funny. It's really funny. This episode's great.
I was abducted by aliens. I was looking into it. I was gone for like an hour.
He said I was looking into it. Yeah, for like 5 minutes. Like you literally went and asked one person. One person. That was it. Like, dude, come on.
4 a.m. Yeah.
And he lost time. He lost time. See, UFO time slip. Yes, he lost time. We need to remember that. Yes.
UFO time slip.
UFO time slip.
It actually falls in line.
Yes, yes, it does. It does.
Was this, God help me, Sam, there was this bright white light.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is just so funny. There was this bright light.
And there were these beings, and they were too bright to look at,
Ooh.
but I could feel them pulling me towards this sort of table, probing table. God, don't
Yes.
say that out loud.
That's in a lot of alien abduction stories as well. Oh my gosh.
I started hacking and slashing and firing. They actually seemed surprised.
Ooh. So I guess the bullets and the knives did do something. I was wrong.
I don't think anybody's ever done that before.
He's so proud of himself. He said, I don't think anyone's ever done that before. No, I don't think that they have. I don't think that they have, Dean. Uh-oh.
So with that guy. Oh.
The guy in the red hat.
You mean the cop? No,
Haha, Sam can't see it, but Dean can. Dean can see a guy in a red cap, but Sam can't see it. Oh my god, I love this part. Oh, this is one of the best parts. Oh my gosh. So now we're about to be over the alien theory. Not again. He tries to outrun the light, but it's a fairy. Oh my gosh, it's a fairy. The fairy. The fairy is just going around the room, and Dean is so scared, and it's so funny. Okay. Oh, I love this part. He looks at the fairy. Nipples? This fairy can fight it just like hit Dean. Fairies are savage. They really are, though. Like, and again, plugging the Patreon. I have a whole lore episode about fairies and how they're not as sweet as you think that they are. Yup. Okay. Oh no, Dean trapped the fairy in the microwave. Oh no. It splattered everywhere. Haha! I love when he does that. He's always so proud of himself, and it's so funny. Ha! Sam sees nothing.
See what? See the blood.
The blood.
See all the blech. Sorry, man. You don't see the ech? It's right there.
The ech. It's a fairy.
A little naked lady. Okay? What?
A what?
What if these abductions have nothing to do with UFOs?
This is great. This is great.
What? Okay. Say these encounters have been going on for centuries, not with extraterrestrials, with ultra-terrestrials.
Ultra-terrestrials.
Space aliens or whatever, what they used to call them.
Fairy.
Smurfs.
Fairies.
Fairies.
To the fairy lady.
Troll and
Oh, that's
To
a
the
garden
fae
gnome,
folk.
and that's a large goblin.
but
And
they're
that-
all fairies?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Fairy
fae
comes
folk.
in many shapes and sizes. Another reality.
Yes.
Only people who have been there and returned to our world can see the fairy.
Ooh, which is why Dean can see them.
We know they only take firstborn sons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how could we
Interact with
Mm.
them.
Interact.
forcefully interact?
Forcefully.
If you want to win a fairy's favor, leave a bowl of fresh cream.
And more forcefully?
More.
All fairy hate iron.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You could spill sugar or salt in front of them. No matter how powerful, the fairy must stoop to count each grain.
I love that so much. I love that so much.
I'll be damned. Isn't that the watch guy?
And he's buying a lot of cream.
I love cream.
Yeah, he's buying a lot of cream, and the fairies love cream. So, yeah. It's the watch guy. He definitely knew more than he was letting on. So they're breaking into the watch guy's business. Oh my goodness. There's all these little men. They remind me. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of Snow White. It really does. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. And they're drinking the cream.
How does a father decide to trade his son for a bunch of watches?
Yup, he traded his son. Yes, his firstborn. Yup. Red beanie guy. Dean can see him. He looks so freaked out.
This man appeared. Said he was a leprechaun.
Ooh, I knew there was a leprechaun in here.
Leprechaun.
Yes, a
I asked
leprechaun.
him to cure my hands, but he said he would do even better. He'd make me more successful than I'd ever been.
These fae folk are very nifty, let me tell ya. They're very shifty, I'm telling ya. Oh my gosh, this guy keeps following Dean. Oh no! Dean took down the wrong person.
What do you want, you fairy?
What do you want, you fairy? What do you want, you fairy? Oh no, so now Dean is fighting some random guy.
Dude, what happened?
That was my favorite part. This is one of my most favorite parts in the whole entire series. It's one of the most epic and well-known parts of the whole entire series.
Sam,
Sam,
What am I supposed to do?
Fight the fairies! Fight those fairies! Fight the fairies! You fight those fairies! They're trying to get the book so they can reverse the ritual. So they can reverse the ritual so he can get his son back. And maybe everybody else's son back. Yep. Yep, there comes the leprechaun and he killed him. You're the leprechaun. Yep, and that's why he's talking all this UFO stuff, because he's trying to distract people from him really taking them.
It's far away,
Yes.
but not completely out of reach. That's so.
Ah.
I can get it back.
Oh, of course. Of course. Oh no. Wouldn't that be funny? No, it would not be funny. If he did that and then his firstborn, who we see later, no spoilers, but yeah, I guess a spoiler. And then like at the end of the series, he just got like abducted by a leprechaun. Like what if Supernatural ended like that? That'd be really funny. Okay.
But not a deal breaker.
Yeah, no, see, he can't kill him. I don't know how he kills I don't know if you can kill a leprechaun. He tried to shoot him, but it didn't work. And now something I think is coming for Dean. No, it's the guy with the red hoodie. He just got in. Oh no. Okay, so they're both just fighting. Dean's fighting the guy with the red hoodie and Sam's fighting the leprechaun. Okay.
I'm done shooting. So do me a favor. And count this.
Ah, yes. That was the smartest thing ever. I love it because they have salt. They always have salt. Of course, they have salt. So he takes this and he pours the salt out because he has to count it. And I just think that is the best thing ever. I just think it's the best thing ever. It's the best. And he's like, "Oh man."
Why did I do that earlier?
I don't know why he didn't do that earlier. It would have been much easier. Now he can see, and now he can reverse it so they can leave.
No, he ain't.
It's just so funny. It's such a funny way to get a monster. I'm putting air quotes on monster because I don't know if leprechauns are like monsters, but in their context, I just think it's so funny that that's how they get them, that they have to sit there and count the salt. It's so funny. Bye bye. They all went bye bye. I love that episode so much. So yeah, they only talk about aliens in like the first part, and then the rest are fairies. But if you want to know more about fairy lore, like I said earlier, check out my Patreon. You can start as little as $1 a month and you get that free extra podcast all about lore, and it's super fun. I did Pandora's Box, Bigfoot, Nessie's coming next, fairies. It's great. It's so much fun. Check it out. All right. So the lore that they had in Supernatural was that, of course, the time gap lapse, the UFO time lapse, the crop circles, which we see all of the time, the lights, the like big lights. They also see them as like gray people, but also as like gray, like little people. Yeah. So let's see. I'm trying to think what else. UFOs. Oh, the probing table, the little table, that, and yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some real life alien abduction stories, and I am very excited to get into it. All right. All right. So first, let's talk about Barney and Betty Hill. And they are actually known to be the ones who started the UFO craze, if you'd like to call it that. So I got this information from a reporter named Corinne Pertil in an article I found. So, on the night of September 19th, 1961, Barney and Betty Hill were driving home. They were a normal couple. He was a postman and she was a social worker. But while they were driving on this road, they said that they saw a bright object that was following their car. And they actually arrived home at 5 a.m. and had no idea where 2 hours of the night had even gone. And it actually took them a while to remember what had happened to them. And when they remembered, they realized that they were abducted by aliens. So while they were driving down that road, the wife, she actually looked out the window, and that's when she saw that bright object following them. And she actually insisted that they park the car and look and see what it was. So they did, and they said that they saw a spacecraft, and then it had double windows, and they could like clearly see. This is what they said. They said that they could clearly see at least half a dozen living beings, and that they were all in uniforms looking straight at him. That is so creepy. Like, that is really creepy. He said he was terrified and that they like went back to the car and like started driving again, which, yes, same. But then they heard like these loud beeps, and they said that they felt an odd tingling and drowsiness come over them. And which is wild, because if you've ever heard of like I think it's like binaural beats, they're different like beats and frequencies and everything that help your brain wake up. And that is like literally like, you could probably do that with all kinds of other like sound and stuff. Like even in Supernatural, they have an episode where someone dies because something is too loud, and like I think that can actually happen. And they said that actually when they got home, they noticed that his shoes were scuffed, and that one of his binoculars, because they have binoculars, one of the binocular straps had broken. And he felt like something happened to his body. And so he like, oh man, he felt like something happened to his body. Like he felt like that. And then Betty started having nightmares. And it wasn't until 2 years later when they actually went to a psychiatrist and they were under hypnosis. And that's when they saw the gray aliens. Oh my gosh. That's when they saw it. That's when they realized what happened. And they saw the gray aliens in the saucer-shaped craft, and it probed them with needles. Yes. Yes, that is the story. Now, that is like word for word what they said in Supernatural, like no joke. And yes, this is a real story. This really happened. These are real people. Wild, right? I know. I know. So this next story is by Marco Magridoff, and it is another real story of an alien abduction of an article I found. All right. So on September 1st, 1969, every time I hear 1969, I think of Even Stevens. I think I'm showing my age here. But I think of Even Stevens when she has the episode where she's like, we went to the moon in 1969, not 1968, but a year after. We went to the moon 1969. Okay, I'm done. So in 1969, residents of Berkshire County in Massachusetts said that they saw a UFO. And it wasn't just one sighting, it was like a lot of different people, kind of like the story that we talked about in the last episode. A lot of the witnesses said that the lights were on this like unidentified disc-shaped craft that was maneuvering in ways that we cannot conceive. And then some said that they lost track of time as they like looked at this object because they were so fascinated by it that they actually lost track of time. Which, look, this is why I said earlier, I think aliens are real, and I don't think they're evil. I just think they're smarter than us. And I think that they've just figured out that you can use frequencies to make people like drowsy or forget things, or you can use maybe lights or certain frequencies and lights to make people like, lose time or something. So I just think that they may just be smarter than us, and they just know how to use the elements and the frequencies and the matter around us in ways that we just haven't explored yet. I know. You come to my podcast and you hear all my theories. I'm telling you, I love this stuff. But back then, Thomas Reed was 9 years old and he was in the car with his family, and they saw a group of glowing orbs, and it dashed around like next to them. And this is what he says. So this is what he said when he saw it, and because they were heading home and they were in the car, and when he saw these orbs, this is what he said. He said, "It came to a stop off at the right side of the road. Everything got really calm. It was like being in the middle of a hurricane. There was like a barometric change in the pressure. It was just like a dead silence. Then there was an eruption of crickets and frogs, and it got really loud, and that was it." And that's what happened when he saw the UFO. So I think the story is actually in Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. So I think what happened is like they pulled over and they got out of their car, or they found themselves, because it's like they found themselves back in their car. So I think like they got out of their car, they pulled over, and they didn't realize that they did, because they lost that time and they don't remember what happens. So they lost 2 hours of memory. So that's actually a trend, because in the story before that they lost 2 hours of memory, and now in this story they lost 2 hours of memory. Just saying. Just saying. But and when they got back, like when they appeared back in the car or realized that they were back in the car, the mother and the grandmother actually switched seats. So, yeah, I forgot. I watched that episode on Netflix, but I forgot exactly like what happened. They still, and to this day, like they still don't remember everything, but the Reed, the 9-year-old who's much older now, said that over time his family regained some memory, and that they remember being in a hangar like facility with other people, which is strange. Very strange. All right, and this next story that I have is about Whitley Strieber, and he's actually an author, and he's written a lot of fiction novels like throughout the years, two being The Wolfen and The Hunger. And so he says now, now this one, like, I want to believe it, but I feel like it's kind of hard to believe because he's like a fiction writer. Like, so I guess it's a little bit hard for me to believe because he's a fiction writer. So maybe like he had a dream and like didn't realize it. Cause when you, like, I've had many of supernatural dreams, and it's probably because that's what I spend most of my time thinking about. But so, you never know. And so, like, this one, I have a little bit, I don't know if it's real or not, but it's a funny story. So we're gonna continue anyway. Because one night in the 80s, he says that he actually got abducted by aliens when he was in New York. So he actually wrote a nonfiction book about it, nonfiction. So he did write a nonfiction book about it. And it happened on the night of December 26, 1985. And he was actually sleeping alone in his cabin in the woods because he was trying to write. So he actually woke up because he heard a strange noise. And when he woke up, he saw a small, non-human entity approaching his bed. And then all of a sudden, it was like morning again. And when he finally like woke up, he still felt disoriented. And so he decided a couple months later to go, like Barry and Betty did, go to a hypnosis or get hypnotized. And then a few months later, some of the memories returned. So he got hypnotized and some of the memories returned. And so he says, and he calls them visitors. So he calls them visitors, that they entered his home and abducted him. And that's actually not the last time that they visited him. He actually wrote another book called The Key, A True Encounter, where he got visited again on June 6, 1998. and he got visited by them again. So so apparently the aliens really like him. This is his recount of the second one. He said I got up to open the door thinking it was room service because he was in a hotel. He said it was not. It was a man, and he was about 5.5 feet tall, older looking, in like his 70s, and he wore dark colored clothing, a turtleneck, and charcoal slacks. He claimed that the visitor was motionless, like just standing at the window, and he was talking about the dangers of creating an intelligence more evolved than its creator. And Stryber, the author, said it was the most extraordinary conversation he had ever had in his life. Okay, so unpacking this story, because even though I don't know if it's real, it is probably my favorite one. Because one, he said that a little like non-human being came like and abducted him, which totally reminds me of Supernatural and the fairies and the leprechauns. Two, I love that in the second one it was like a normal looking person, because it was kind of the leprechaun or fairy or whatever that was attacking Dean. Same thing, was like a normal, I mean, he was creepy looking, but he was a normal looking person, but he just happened to be like a leprechaun or an elf or whatever. And and so I think that's cool. And also, like I said earlier, like I always assumed that aliens just kind of looked like us because that's what my dad told me when I was little. So I really like that part of the story. And then the last part of the story that I find very troubling is the fact that he was having a conversation with this alien saying intelligence, not to create intelligence more involved than its creator. So when I think about that is AI. Now, I am terrified of AI. Terrified. Terrified. I do not like AI. It terrifies me. It terrifies me. And so I think to me, that's what that means. Like, they'll be like, hey, hold on, don't do that, because you might get yourself in an iRobot situation. If you've never seen that movie, watch it. It will terrify you. This is what they're trying to do. Okay, enough about that. That has nothing to do with aliens. But once again, Supernatural got all of the lore right when it came to aliens and fairies. So but we were talking about aliens today, and yes, they had the time lapse, they had the probing and the needles and everything that really happened. They had everything. They had the shiny lights. They had everything, like everything. They had the normal looking people. Well, that was for the fairy folk. But yeah, they did. They had everything. It was great. I love that episode. It's one of my favorite episodes. So I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. So thank you so much to all of my fellow Wayward Spirits for joining me on this journey today. And if you want to go on more hunts with me, make sure to subscribe to Wayward Spirit Pod wherever you listen to podcasts, or on YouTube at Wayward Spirit TV, and on Instagram at Wayward Spirit Pod and at Wayward Spirit TV. Because next week we are talking about Metatron and Nephilims, and I have another guest, and it is just, this episode is great. I learned so much about Nephlons. I can't even say it. I learned a lot about Nephilims. I can't even say it anymore. Okay, well, you guys know what I'm talking about. I learned a lot about them and Metatron from this guest, and it was just so much fun, like the real life lore about him. And it was just so much fun, and it's a great episode, so you do not want to miss it. Yes. And again, I'm going to tell you about my Patreon. If you want even more content, go to my Patreon page. There's already so much extra content on there, as well as the new exclusive Wayward Lore podcast. And you can join at just $1 a month, so go check that out. It would greatly help me in my goal to get a van and drive across country if you want to help me with that. Anyway. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so happy you are here. I will see you all next week, and don't forget to stay spooky. Bye.